न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
गणेशाय नमः, सरस्वत्यै नमः, श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। हगुंसश्रुतिषच्छुतिषद्धगुंसो हगुंसश्रुतिषद्वसुर्वसुश्रुतिषद्धगुंसो हगुंसश्रुतिषद्वसुः शुचिषद्वसुर्वसुश्रुतिषच्छुतिषद्वसुरन्तरिक्षसदन्तरिक्षसद्वसुश्रुतिषच्छुतिषद्वसुरन्तरिक्षसत् शुचिषदिति शुचि सत् वसुरन्तरिक्षसदन्तरिक्षसद्वसुर्वसुरन्तरिक्षसद्धोता होता आन्तरिक्षसद्वसुर्वसुरन्तरिक्षसद्धोता अंतरिक्षसद्धोता होता आन्तरिक्षसदन्तरिक्षसद्धोता वेदिषद्धोता आन्तरिक्षसदन्तरिक्षसद्धोता वेदिषत् अन्तरिक्षसदित्यन्तरिक्ष सत् होता वेदिषद्वेदिषद्धोता होता वेदिषदतिथिरतिथिर्वेदिषद्धोता होता वेदिषदतिथिः वेदिषदतिथिरतिथिर्वेदिषद्वेदिषदतिथिर्दुरो न सद्दुरो न सत् वेदिषदिति वेदि सत् अतिथिर्दुरो न सदतिथिरतिथिर्दुरो न सत् दुरो न सदिति दुरो न सत् नृषद्वरसद्वरसन् नृषदिति नृ सत् वरसदृतसदृतसद्वरसद्वरसदृतसद्व्योमसद्वरसद्वरसदृतसद्व्योमसत् वरसदिति वरा सत् ऋतसद्व्योमसद्व्योमसदृतसदृतसद्व्योमसदब्जा अब्जा व्योमसदृतसदृतसद्व्योमसदब्जा ऋतसदिति ऋता सत् व्योमसदब्जा अब्जा व्योमसद्व्योमसदब्जा गोजा गोजा अब्जा व्योमसद्व्योमसदब्जा गोजा व्योमसदिति व्योमा सत् अब्जा गोजा गोजा अब्जा अब्जा गोजा ऋतजा ऋतजा गोजा अब्जा अब्जा गोजा ऋतजा अब्जा इत्यप जाः गोजा ऋतजा ऋतजा गोजा गोजा ऋतजा अद्रिजा अद्रिजा ऋतजा गोजा गोजा ऋतजा अद्रिजा गोजा इति गोजाः ऋतजा अद्रिजा अद्रिजा ऋतजा ऋतजा अद्रिजा ऋतमृतमद्रिजा ऋतजा ऋतजा अद्रिजा ऋतम् ऋतजा इति ऋता जाः अद्रिजा ऋतमृतमद्रिजा अद्रिजा ऋतम् बृहद् बृहदृतमद्रिजा अद्रिजा ऋतम् बृहत् अद्रिजा इत्यद्रिजाः ऋतम् बृहद् बृहदृतम् ऋतम् बृहत् बृहदिति बृहत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my loving pranams at the lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagwan. Respected elders and dear sisters and brothers, a loving Sai Ram to one and all. Shvete vrishe samarudha, shvetambara dhara shuchihi, Mahagauri shubham dadyantra, Mahadeva pramodada. Salutations to Mother Mahagauri, the eighth avatar of Mother Durga, who is radiant and compassionate and removes us from the clutches of material world and leads us to the path of virtue and inner power. Greetings to everybody on the auspicious occasion of Durgashtami. Sri Adi Shankaracharya in the Viveka Chudamani said, Durlabham trayame vaitad devanugraha hetukam manushyatvam mumukshatvam mahapurusha samshrayaha. Three things in this world are very difficult to be obtained, and if obtained, it is only possible by the infinite and compassionate grace of the Divine Lord. And what are those three things? First, manushyatvam, the rarity of a human birth. Second, mumukshatvam, a desire to have liberation. And third, mahapurusha samshrayaha, the protection of a mahapurusha, of a great spiritual being. Dear sisters and brothers, let us count our blessings, for we do not just have the rarity of having a human birth, but we have the rarity of having a human birth when the avatar walked on this earth. We just don't have the protection and guidance of a Mahapurusha, but we have the protection of the canopy of grace of the avatar of the age, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. We may not be aware and may be ignorant of all that which happens to us when we are in the divine presence of Bhagwan. The other day, Dr. Ravi Kumar he narrated the beautiful experience of his father, where he got cured of cancer by just a word of Bhagwan. There are innumerable such stories of how Bhagwan has redeemed several devotees of their troubles by his looks or touch of his hand, and sometimes by even the touch of the helm of his robe. To be at the proximity of Bhagwan is not a matter of our choice, nor is it a matter of coincidence, but it is a gift of the divine providence. To speak to us on the three unique aspects of the Sathya Sai avatar, as he has learnt it at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan, we have today Shri R. Siddhartha from the Department of English, Prasanthi Nilayam campus of Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. Shri R. Siddhartha hails from Chennai. He completed his bachelor's degree in English literature in Loyola College in the year 2006. He then joined the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning for the MBA program. In the year 2009, Bhagwan instructed him to do his master's in English. Implicitly obeying Bhagwan's words, Sri Siddhartha gave up his lucrative professional career and joined for his master's program in English literature in Loyola College in Chennai. After completing his course there, he joined the Department of English, Prasanthi Nilayam campus, as a faculty member. Apart from his academic pursuits, he was also a part of the Sundaram Bhajan group from the year 2003 and is currently a singer and a harmonium player in the Prasanthi Mandir Bhajan group. He has also acted in several dramas in Bhagwan's immediate presence during his students' days and is now involved as a director and a coordinator for various dramas that are put up by the students in the Sai Kulwant Hall. He was also blessed with a unique opportunity to accompany Bhagwan to Kodaikanal in the year 2009. He is very popular amongst his students for his enthusiasm, dynamism, and innovating teaching skills. I now request Sri R. Siddhartha to come up to the podium. Thank you, Sai Ram.
I offer my talk and myself at the lotus feet of my most beloved Swami. A loving Sairam to all the elders, my brothers and sisters gathered here this evening. When I was asked to talk on the occasion of the Prasanthi Vidwan Mahasabha this year, my mind raced back to the year 2008 when I was doing my final year. 3 of us were shortlisted to speak that year as part of the Prasanthi Vidwan Mahasabha if Swami desired so. But we are taught to love his uncertainty, and that year Swami did not call for any of the students to speak. He only delays. He never denies, I thought, when this opportunity came to me. And when I was asked to speak, the first thought that crossed my mind was, what could I speak about? On the 30th of April in the year 2009, when we were with Bhagwan at Sai Shruti in Kodaikanal, that day after the morning bhajans, Swami picked a classmate of mine and me to address the gathering that evening. And over lunch, even as he was dining, Swami sent word for the 2 of us and we rushed to his presence. And Swami asked me, what would you speak about this evening? I could only muster up courage to tell him, Swami, I would like to talk about the lessons that I have learnt at your feet. I would like to talk about you. He seemed very happy with my answer. So that was the first thought that came to my mind. And then we know that all over the world, we are having this lead up and the build that is getting towards Bhagwan's 90th year of his advent. And yesterday we celebrated the day when he declared that he was the avatar of the Yuga. So I thought to myself, yes, probably it would be befitting if I did speak about the avatar. But what do I speak of a phenomenon that is the avatar? As Purandara Dasa sang, Jagadodharana Adisidal Shoda Jagadodharana Anoraniyana Mahato Mahi अनोरणीयणा महतो महीयणा. The divine is present in the smallest of creation, the atom, Anoraniyana, as well as the largest of creation. The macrocosm and the microcosm contain this divinity. What then can I speak of this divinity, the avatar? What could I speak in 20-25 minutes that has not been said before here and elsewhere? And what can I describe or hope to achieve that the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Puranas, the Shastras, all the religious texts of all the religions have not been able to complete in its entirety? What could I do then? It is said, the mother shows the child his or her father. The father shows the child his or her guru. And guru shows the child God. In my case, it was slightly different. My mother showed me my physical father and brought me here to Prasanthi Nilayam in the year 95. I recall through those peepholes near the Tulsi plants there, I saw this loving orange form walk back to his residence. And my mother pointed out to him and said, "This is God and he is your guru as well." She showed me all three. I don't know why, but I instantly accepted that he is God. And looking back, was it because of the implicit faith that I had in my mother's words that she could not be wrong? Or is it because my heart just accepted that yes, this is God? And having come to know of God, I wanted to know more about God. And I didn't have the opportunity to study here that early in my life. So therefore, I turned towards the books that were written on Swami by various devotees. So my learning of Swami, how I learnt about Swami, how I fell in love with Swami, was largely due to the books that I have read on Bhagwan. And after joining here as a student, and subsequently, I got to interact with a lot of people who have spent decades in his immediate presence. So that is another factor that contributed to how I learnt about Bhagwan. And of course, the few years that I could spend in his immediate presence. Given all of this, I thought that I could speak about what I have learnt of the avatar with all these as my inputs. And what I have learnt about the avatar is, there are three very dominating facets to his personality. And these facets he displayed throughout his physical sojourn, probably even before he took physical advent, and he continues to show these three facets to his personality. The three facets are, firstly, tremendous, secondly, mysterious, and third, fascinating. When you look at the word tremendous, it is defined as notable by reason of extreme size, power, and greatness. Enough has been said about how the avatar had a tremendous mission. We all know that he chose this nondescript village in the middle of nowhere, and he drew the whole world without having to step out into the world. He drew the whole world to Prasanthi Nilayam. Of course, we all know, and enough has been spoken about the medical marvels, the Sathya Sai Seva organizations, which has its presence in India as well as countries abroad. I recall a very interesting anecdote. When Swami, of course, we know, was earlier in the old mandir, which was just probably a medium-sized hall with a tin roof at best. And when he moved out of Puttaparthi to Prasanthi Nilayam, a large distance which we walk as the Gopuram Road today, when the plans were being drawn up for the Prasanthi Mandir, I believe Mother Ishwaramma submitted to Swami, saying, "Swami, do you require such a big hall, this bhajan hall, which as we know it?" She asked Swami, "Do you require such a big hall?" Because the number of devotees in those days were just a handful. And her logic was, why not have a smaller hall that looks packed, rather than construct a big hall which would look largely empty? Of course, we know that the bhajan hall did not suffice for Swami. He had the Purnachandra Auditorium built, which was at one point of time the largest hall in Asia without pillars in between. The Purnachandra did not suffice, and he had to get the Sai Kulwant Hall constructed. And as I stand here, I see that even the Sai Kulwant Hall is not enough, and that is why we moved to the Hillview Stadium for major functions, and even that brims over. That is how tremendous, that's why I said, in terms of size, in terms of glory, we know that the avatar was definitely tremendous. In the year 1999, when Swami had visited Kodaikanal, on the eve of his departure, Swami called one of the brothers and asked him to find out how many security personnel had accompanied Swami. The number was found to be 24 and was submitted to Swami. So Swami sent for safari cloths to be given to them in bags, and as he usually does, he had given even 1,000 rupees each for the stitching charges. That is the detail to which he looks into. And this was distributed to those security personnel, and Swami retired for the evening. A short while later, it was found that 9 people had been missed out. And this was brought to the attention of that brother who had done the math, and he was wondering how he could broach this with Swami now. And even as they were discussing, Swami came out and said, "What is this meeting going on?" And he ventured to tell Swami, "Swami, we missed out on 9 people." So I believe Swami started engaging, saying, "Okay, so what shall we do? Are there identical bags? Are there still some more safari material?" And even as he was saying all this, he called another brother and said, "Just go to that pile of letters which devotees have given to me, submitted to me. There is one letter with a blue border. Just bring that." And this brother brought it. And Swami is continuing this conversation, apparently helpless, as in what should we do, and so on. And he's tearing this cover open. Just as he finished tearing this cover open, a bundle of notes fell out. And Swami is pretending like he's surprised and shocked. He's saying, "Where did this come from? What is this? Why has he kept money inside this cover?" And one of the elders who happened to be present there ventured to tell Swami, "It is your sankalpa that this money appeared." And Swami chided him very severely, saying, "Chi, I don't use my sankalpa for such petty things like money." And Swami then revealed that the avatar takes only one sankalpa. He said, "I need to take only one sankalpa. And that is to come in human form. Everything else, whatever I need, wherever I need, whenever I need, it will just come. I don't need to will for it." Now that shows us what powers the avatar has, what powers the avatar comes with. And yet, this avatar does not display those powers to us all the time. Like how he is still behind curtains. He shrouds this aspect of his power with the veil which we call Maya. But ever once in a while, he doesn't open this curtain, he just parts it a wee bit so that we can have a glimpse into that infinity. In the year that we went to Kodaikanal with Swami, one evening, Swami had, the usual routine in Kodaikanal is that the evening sessions are held in the bhajan hall inside because it gets a little cold for the devotees to sit outside. And that evening, Swami had requested our former Vice Chancellor, G. Venkatraman sir, to talk to the gathering. And Swami said, "I want the speech to be held outside." And he said, "Swami, it would be cold." He said, "No, there are a lot of devotees who are seated outside who don't get darshan because I sit indoor. I want to sit outside." So, as per Swami's command, the speech went on outside. After we came back inside to the living quarters, just before dinner, Swami was complimenting sir about his speech. And sir ventured to submit to Swami saying, "Swami, you had to go through a lot of discomfort." And Swami said, No, nothing like that. Avanni ledu. He said, "No, Swami, you are seated outside and as we know, there's a lake that faces Sai Shruti. So the cold winds were coming from the lake and it must have precipitated the chill factor." And Swami very so casually remarked, he said, "If I want, I can get even hot winds to blow from there. But all that I don't do." So that is what I said. It's that parting of the curtain. He just, for a glimpse, he will tell you what he is really capable of. And if you're not paying attention, it's very easy to miss it. And on another day, we all had our tiffin, and we were waiting for Swami to come. And Swami had his tiffin inside in his quarters. And Swami came out nibbling one small baby-sized cucumber. It was a very cute sight to see that Swami was nibbling that cucumber as he came out. And he sat with us and he continued to eat it. And at one point of time, clearly he was done eating it. And there was a small bit of it left, which he was holding in his hand. And we realized that it's a golden opportunity that he would want to dispose of it, and one of us could be the lucky beneficiary. And we were all waiting for that signal to come to someone. Unconsciously, probably all 30, 35 of us around him started holding our hands like this, trying to indicate to him, saying, Swami, yes, we are ready. When you want to give it, we are ready. And Swami obviously observed this, and after a while he looked around and he just flicked it. We saw it in his hand, we saw him flick it, we saw it travel in the air. Nobody caught it. Obviously, the mind tends to think that maybe it fell between two people, or somebody caught it and he's not making a scene of it. He probably popped it into his mouth. But, brothers and sisters, it was not to be found. I have only read and heard that in the days of yore in Kodaikanal, where he used to materialize objects, he showed us that he could dematerialize like that while it was in transit. When you look at these moments, when you are in his presence during these moments, you are obviously struck with awe. These moments numb your senses. You can't believe your own eyes. You can't believe what you just saw. There's no logic to it, right? And that is when you realize his power is very mysterious. And that is the second aspect of the Lord, that he is very mysterious. Mysterious is defined as strange, difficult to understand, inexplicable. These are some of the synonyms that I came across. Inexplicable, it cannot be explained. And I'm sure in this August gathering, there are so many people who have had experiences where they have seen this mystery aspect of the Lord. When you look at it, you don't seem to understand what is going on, but you try to seek to understand what really happened. Another incident which involves Professor Kasturi, even before he had written the Swami's biography, I believe one day one of the visitors to Prasanthi Nilayam accosted him somewhere here in East Prasanthi and said, are there any books on Swami? And he submitted saying, no sir, there are no books on Swami. That person went away. A short while later, Swami summons Professor Kasturi to his room. And Swami asked him, what did that man ask you? So he says, Swami, he asked me if there are any books on you. And Swami said, so what did you tell him? I told him there are no books. You should have told him, Swami cannot be understood by books. You realize that the avatar is the riddle and the avatar is the answer. When you try to understand, like Swami himself says, the avatar is meant to be experienced, not understood. Therefore, when we ask these silly questions, we are only defeating that purpose. We are not enjoying the experience. Our spiritual evolution probably depends only on the experience, not on the understanding. And that is what we often miss out on. On another occasion, when Swami was in Prasanthi Mandir, I believe one evening as they were returning from the Chitravati sessions, Swami remarked to some devotees who were around him saying, do you know what is the greatest mystery of creation? And they said, no, Swami. Swami said, remind me tomorrow about it, I will tell you. So they were all, these few elders were very excited that they are going to be privy to the knowledge of what is the greatest mystery of creation. The next day, as luck would have it, Swami was very busy because some devotees were leaving Prasanthi Nilayam. So he was spending a lot of time with them. So these few elders thought it unwise to disturb Swami. We can always remind him the following day when he has more time. And the day ended. This elder was sleeping here in the mandir, and in the night Swami comes and wakes him up. Swami taps him and says, what is this? Nobody wants to know about the greatest mystery? Nobody reminded me today. And he said, no, Swami, we thought you were busy, so we thought we'll ask you tomorrow. He said, no, there's no time for that. You come with me. And Swami took this person to the terrace of Prasanthi Mandir. And he writes that obviously there was nothing else but the mandir itself, so anything beyond the mandir is pitch black. And Swami goes to the parapet wall and stands and looks up into the sky. And he writes that different divine beings came flying in from all parts of the sky. They were so radiant, resplendent, and brilliant that he was not able to keep his eyes on them. And he says they came flying in. Some looked like angels, some looked like devas, some looked very gory and ghastly. They came down, they come to Swami. Swami says a word or two to them, and they fly away. Unable to see this sight, it seems he almost had to shut his eyes. That is how brilliant it was. Shortly after, Swami turns around, comes to him and says, "Do you know who they were?" He says, "No, Swami, but they looked very divine." Swami said, "Yes, these are the divine beings that I have placed in different parts of the universe to do my work when I am here." And then Swami asked him, "Do you know what is their deepest desire?" And he says, "No, Swami. Their deepest desire is to spend time with me, sitting next to me, touching me and talking to me." And then he said, "What have you done that they have not done to deserve this chance?" That is the greatest mystery of creation. So when we look at what we have got, this avatar that we have, what did we do to come here? What did we do to be in his presence today? Which divine beings apparently yearn for? We really can't answer that question. And these stories, obviously, I can go on, and every story that involves Swami is so fascinating. And that is the third aspect of the Lord. He's fascinating. Fascinating is to be transfixed, held spellbound by an irresistible power. I think that sums up Swami so beautifully. To be held transfixed, spellbound by an irresistible power. My goodness. When we look at it, how each of us came to Swami. How each and every one of us came to Swami. It is said that as many types of people are there are those many ways to reach God. But here is a Lord that shows us that as many types of people are there are those many ways for me to call you. Is it not? All our stories are so unique. They are so distinct. They might be similar, but they're distinct. They may be personal, but they're universal. And if you look at what the avatar has achieved with millions of people, it is tremendous that he has had so many different types of visiting cards. It is mysterious how he found so many. And when two Sai devotees meet, if you just ask the other person the question, "So how did you come to Swami?" That story is so fascinating. Our story to Bhagwan is tremendous, mysterious and fascinating in itself. Is it not? So, we all have had this opportunity to be with him. And when we look back at the pages of our lives, those moments when he walked to us, when he talked to us, each time he spoke to us, there was wisdom. Each time was an experience. A look, a single look from Swami. Sometimes that look could just cut you into two pieces. You would feel like you were just split. And there could be another occasion when you are so broken in life, he would come and just give you that one look. No words exchanged, just that one look. And you will find the strength to be one again. The third aspect, like I said, is that he is extremely fascinating. I would like to wind up with one more fascinating tale that involved me as well. This was sometime in the month of March this year. One morning I had a very beautiful dream where I was seated in the upper portico, just in front of the interview room. Swami opened the door and he said, "Final year boys," he called out. For some strange reason, I stood up. I turned back and I saw that there were two more boys standing somewhere down the line. One of them was a final year third UG boy whom I knew, who was studying here. So I looked at Swami and I said, "Swami, there are only three of us." He said, "No problem, come in." I have never been in this state. I have never entered the interview room. It is only in my dreams. And therefore, every time the interview room looks different to me. So when I walked in, there was a large couch for Swami and Swami sat. I observed that these two other brothers did not venture to sit too close to Swami. They were a little hesitant and they were seated a little back. So I went and planted myself right at Swami's feet. Swami started talking to us about how we should conduct ourselves. And Swami said, boys should be of very good conduct, especially when you leave the system and when you leave the portals of the university and go out. And then Swami said, wrong is wrong even if everybody is doing it. Right is right, even if only one person is doing it. Like that Africa boy. And he looked at me. Now, we'll just pause the story at this point. I had no idea whom Swami was referring to, but I didn't, but in my dream I did. So I looked at Swami and I nodded my head and I said, Swami, Anmol Swami. And he said, that boy. And I turned back. These two brothers were obviously seeing stars. They did not know who Swami is referring to. Now I will pause the story. When I was doing my MBA, I had a batchmate by name Anmol Mehta. And I just knew that he was doing MSc. He was in the band. Apart from that, I knew nothing else about him. And he's the only person that I know by that name. So, when I told Swami Anmol Mehta, there's still some logic because I know somebody by that name. But I did not know where he is, what he is doing, nothing. After 2008 or 2009, I have not seen him. So it is pretty surprising that when Swami referred to an Africa boy, I named him and Swami said yes. When these two brothers, coming back to the dream, when these two brothers did not know the story, I turned back and tell them, Brother, Swami is referring to one of our alumni students by name Anmol Mehta. He is working in Africa. There was a strike in his factory and Anmol refused to participate in the strike. I have no idea if this really happened, but I'm telling this very confidently, I'm telling this. And Swami says, Chudu, you should be like him. The dream ended. A couple of days later, I shared this dream with one of my teachers. And that was the end of it. We just shared the dream and it was over. Or so we thought. When the study holidays began, this teacher, was walking towards the college one morning. And at the gate, he saw one girl and one boy standing. So as Sir approached them, they both wished Sir. Sir wished them back. And this boy seemed to have said, Sir, I've come for the first time to Puttaparthi after my wedding. And this is the first time for my wife. I just wanted to know if I could show her the campus where I studied. So Sir has told, it's study holidays, it should not be a problem. But you better meet the director and take his permission. And Sir guided him to the director's office. And Sir went to his cabin. After a while, this boy comes and says, thank you, Sir. I met the director. He gave me permission. I just showed her around. I just thought I'll thank you. So then, out of courtesy, Sir said, why don't you sit? And gave them both a chair to sit. And since Sir has confessed saying, I know you studied here, but I don't remember your name. I'm very bad with names. What is your name? He said, Sir, my name is Anmol Mehta. So Sir's antenna went up. My God. Because I had just mentioned the name to Sir a few days ago. So then, not wanting to make it very obvious, Sir has struck a conversation with him and asked him, so where are you right now? Where are you working? Sir, I'm working in Nigeria, sir, in Africa. Okay, now this is getting very interesting. So then Sir has said, don't mind me asking, but was there some strike in your factory or office or something which you did not take part in? You would think Anmol would say yes, but Anmol said no. Anmol said, no, sir, nothing of that sort. No, nothing really happened. So Sir has left it at that. Then his wife butted in. He said, no, you forgot or what? Couple of months back, something happened, no? Yes, sir, actually, yes, sir, something like that did happen. So Sir has asked, what happened? It seems in his organization, some employees decided to go against the management on some account. So they were a large number, the majority of the organization, and they had decided, tomorrow the majority of us will barge into the admin section and tell them this is what we want, and we will work only under these conditions. So obviously the pressure is on everybody to take sides. Either you join the majority or you stay with the minority. So I believe Anmol came back home that day and he was very distressed because he felt what the majority is asking is not the right thing to do. But he doesn't want to take their side because he feels it is wrong. And he's aware that if he stays with the minority, he is going to be singled out later. So after a lot of thought, he decided he will simply bunk work the next day. He will take leave. So he has taken leave from work the next day and avoided the whole situation. The day after when he has gone to work, everything was already settled. The majority didn't take much note of him. The minority didn't take much note of him. He was considered to be nobody knew what his stance was at all. So then he has told this to Sir and said, this is what happened, sir. And then Sir has asked him, do you know Siddhartha, your batchmate? No, sir, I don't remember. No, he was doing MBA and then he's now teaching. No, sir, I don't remember him. Then sir said, okay, there is this batchmate of yours who's staying here. Right now he's teaching. And this is what happened in his dream 10 days ago. And sir has narrated this dream to him. I believe I didn't meet Anmol that trip of his at all. I didn't even know he came to Parthi and he had gone back. But sir tells me that both he and his wife broke down. And he was saying, sir, I'm coming back after 5 years to Prasanthi Nilayam. And the first thing that I realized is that he's still very much watching over us, every single second. Now you tell me, brothers and sisters and elders, what are the chances of me knowing about someone whom I don't know about? What are the chances that someone who's in Nigeria comes to Prasanthi Nilayam within 10 days of this incident, of my dream? And what are the chances that he bumps into the only teacher in my campus who knows the story? Obviously, there's a higher power at work. As much as it was a very moving experience for Anmol, even when I recall, it's such a moving experience for me when I think of how much he's watching over us, how we don't realize how much he's watching over us. When he said, I'm above you, below you, behind you, around you, beside you, I don't know how many of us really took it seriously, but he seems to have taken it very seriously when he said it. So let us remember that we have come in contact with a very special avatar. And let us not allow ourselves to ask questions of the avatar. Why does Swami allow this to happen? Why does Swami not do this? Because when we are doing that, we are trying to understand him. You cannot understand the riddle when the riddle is the answer. We are just meant to experience him. And in those moments, let us keep telling ourselves that he's tremendous, he's mysterious, he's fascinating. And when he's those three, he can do anything. We just have to experience it. Dear brothers and sisters, thank you so much for this opportunity. But let us just remember only that when we have come in contact with him, we are bound to him and he is bound to us.
जिसके सर पर हाथ हो तेरा, कौन बिगाड़े उसकी, हर पल उसके साथ है बाबा, हर पल रक्षा उसकी.
Thank you. Sai Ram.
A poet beautifully put the relationship between the Sathya Sai avatar and his students in a poem. He said, Yajure sthitam tu hridaye suvasam. One might assume that he always stays in the Yajur Mandir, but his actual residence is the heart of his devotees. Swakalpanta leelam pradarshya sakarsham. He attracts his devotees by performing leelas or mahimas, which are very, very unique, which are incomprehensible by the human mind. Sahasrambatulyam cha sneha pradantam. He is the one who showers his love, which is that of 1,000 mothers. Sada sai natham sumitram bhajeham. I shall always remember that Lord Sai, who is also my best friend. To celebrate the 75 years of the Avatar Declaration Day, today we have the Prasanthi dance group, which constitutes of students from all the three men's campuses of Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, the Sri Sathya Sai Higher Secondary School, and the Srimati Ishwaramma High School. Before the Prasanthi dance group comes forth for the program, we would now pray to Bhagwan to bless us all with his divine discourse. Bhagwan's discourse will be followed by the program. Thank you, Sairam.
ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా,
embodiments of love.
మానవుడనగా ఎవరు?
What is bliss?
శరీర మనసు ఆత్మల యొక్క మూడింటి యొక్క సమ్మిళితమైన స్వరూపమే.
Man is the combination of the body, mind and the spirit.
బాడీ పనులు చేస్తుంది,
Body acts,
మైండ్ విచారణ సలుపుతుంది,
mind inquires.
ఆత్మ సాక్షిభూతిగా ఉంటుంది.
Atma, the spirit, stands as a
కనుకనే
witness.
ప్రతి కర్మ కూడాను దేహం అత్యవసరము.
Therefore, for every activity, body is essential.
కర్మలు ఆచరించేటువంటిది దేహమే.
It is the body that acts.
మంచి చెడ్డలు నిర్ణయించేటువంటిది మనసే.
It is the mind that decides good and bad.
దీనిని పురస్కరించుకుని ఆత్మ దీనికి సాక్షిభూతంగా ఉంటుంది.
For all this, Atma, the spirit, stands as a witness.
శాశ్వతంగా ఉండేటువంటిది ఆత్మనే.
The spirit is permanent.
విచారణ సలుపునది మనసే.
It is the mind that distinguishes.
ఆచరించున్నది దేహమే.
And then it is the body
ఈ
that
మూడింటి యొక్క
behaves.
స్వరూపమే మానవుడు.
Man is the combination of these three.
కనుకనే ఈ మానవుడు
This man,
శరీరమును,
the body,
మనస్సును
the mind,
ఆత్మతో కలిసి ఉండినప్పుడు
and when he is in the company of the self,
ఇతనే పరిపూర్ణ మానవుడు అంటారు.
and that makes the total manhood.
కానీ మనస్సును ఆత్మను త్యజించి
But if he gives up mind and
కేవలం
atma,
శరీరమును మాత్రమే అనుభవించే సమయం లోపల
if he just experiences with this body,
దీనిని పశుత్వము అన్నారు.
he comes down to the level of animality.
ఈ శరీరము మనస్సు రెండు చేరి ఆత్మను విసర్జించినప్పుడు
Therefore, when the body and the mind together give up the
ఇదే
atma,
దానవత్వము అన్నారు.
and this is called the demonic nature.
శరీరమును మనసును త్యజించి
If body and mind are given up,
ఆత్మసత్వంలో మాత్రమే జీవించేటువంటి దాన్ని దైవత్వము అన్నారు.
if the life proceeds along the line of the spirit, it is
దైవత్వముగా
divinity.
కేవలం ఆత్మతో మనం సంబంధం కల్పించుకోవటమే.
The divine path wants you to establish relationship with Atma.
ఆత్మాభిమానమును మాత్రమే మనం అభివృద్ధి గావించుకోవాలి.
One should have attachment to the self.
ఈ దేహాభిమానమునే అభివృద్ధి గావించుకోవటం వల్ల అది పశుత్వంగా మారిపోతుండాలి.
The body attachment is responsible for bestial nature.
దేహంతో పాటు మనసును కూడా చేర్చడం చేతనే దానవత్వంగా రూపొందుతుంది.
As the mind follows the body, it makes you a demon.
ఈ రెండింటినీ త్యజించి ఆత్మ యొక్క సంబంధమునే కలిగించుకోవటము ఆత్మాభిమానం అన్నారు.
One has to sacrifice both these two and develop
ఈ
attachment to the self.
ఆత్మాభిమానమే నిజమైనటువంటి యొక్క తేజో సంబంధమైనటువంటిది.
Attachment to the self is really brilliant and effulgent.
కనుకనే
So,
మానవుడు ఇచ్చినటువంటి ఈ మూడింటిని
these three that are gifted
సద్వినియోగపరిచి
must be properly used.
సదాచారంలో ప్రవేశపెట్టి
Take to right path,
కాలకర్మ కారణ కర్తవ్యాలను పురస్కరించుకొని
basing on the circumstances and the
సమయ
time.
స్ఫూర్తిగా వీటిని వినియోగించుకోవాలి.
We have to make use of them in the appropriate right way.
ఏదో మనసున్నది కదా అని ఇష్ట ప్రకారం దానిని ప్రసరింప చేయకూడదు.
Just as the mind is given, you cannot think
దానికి
as you
కూడా
like.
కొన్ని పరిమితులు ఉంటున్నాయి.
The thinking must be under certain
ఏది
limits.
చేయవచ్చును, ఏది చేయకూడదు,
What is to be done, what is not to be
ఏది
done.
మంచి, ఏది చెడ్డ
What is good, what is
అనే
bad.
విచారణ శక్తి మనసుకు ఉంటుండాలి.
One must inquire with the
ఈ
mind.
విచారణ లోపల మంచి అని తెలిసినటువంటి దాన్ని మనం ఆచరణలో పెట్టాలి.
On inquiry, that you find good must be practiced, adopted.
తెలిసి కూడాను దీన్ని ఆచరణలో పెట్టలేకపోవటము,
Being not able to practice having known
దీనినే దానవత్వము అన్నారు.
is demonic temperament.
కానీ ఇట్టి మనసు యొక్క తత్వాన్ని ఏమాత్రము లెక్క చేయక
Is not mindful of the nature of the mind,
దేహమునే లక్ష్యములను ఉంచుకొని
keeps always the body in view,
దేహాభిమానం చేతనే జీవిస్తూ
and carries on the life attached to
దేహమునకు
the body,
సంబంధించినటువంటి ప్రవృత్తులన్నీ కూడాను అనుభవిస్తూ ఉండటం,
and experiences with the body or in every way.
దీనికి ఏమాత్రము తారతమ్యం లేదు.
The body has no differences,
హెచ్చు పల్లములు లేదు,
no differences, ups and downs.
భేదములు ఏమాత్రము పాటించదు.
It doesn't follow any norms.
కనుకనే దేహమునకు సంబంధించినటువంటి ఇచ్చలను అనుభవించకోవటమే ఇది ఏ పశుత్వము అన్నారు.
The animal enjoys with the body, go by its desire.
లోకంలో కూడాను అనేక మంది పెద్దలు చెప్పేటువంటి వారు
The elders in the world also say,
ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టుగా ప్రవర్తిస్తుంటే ఏమిరా నువ్వేం పశువా అంటారు.
if you act in the way easily, in a free way, they ask you, are you animal?
కేవలం మనసును మాత్రమే అనుభవించుకుంటూ ఉండేటువంటి కేవలం అతనికి రాక్షసుడు అంటుంటారు.
If it's only at the mental levels, it's a demonic quality.
ఈ రాక్షసత్వం అనేటువంటిది దేని నుంచి ప్రారంభమైంది?
Where from has it started?
శరీరమును త్యజించి
Giving up the body,
ఆత్మను విసర్జించి
forgetting our spirit,
మనసు యొక్క తత్వమనే పాటిస్తూ ఉంటాము.
and then he proceeds along the psychological path.
కనుకనే
So-
మనస్సుకు ఏమాత్రం కూడాను మంచి చెడ్డలు బోధించుకోదు.
And in fact, mind does not go basically.
అది శరీరంతో సంబంధమైనప్పుడే
when it has
మంచి
got,
చెడ్డలను కొంతవరకు విచారణ చేస్తుంది.
as the mind follows the body, it distinguishes good and bad.
కనుకనే దీన్ని దేనితోనూ సంబంధం లేకుండా కల్పించుకోవటమే ఈ మనసు యొక్క స్వభావము.
Therefore the mind can think independently without establishing
ఈ
relationship.
మనసు శరీరమును త్యజించి
And giving up the body and the
ఆత్మాభిమానంతో సంచరించేటువంటి వాడే దైవత్వము.
giving up the mind, if one follows the self, he attains divinity.
కనుకనే అట్టి దైవత్వాన్ని పొందేటానికి ఈ మానవుడు తగినటువంటి కృషి చేయాలి.
Man should make every attempt to reach divine.
మనసు ఉండవచ్చును,
Mind exists,
శరీరం ఉండవచ్చును,
body is there,
కానీ ఇది శరీరం పనిచేసే నిమిత్తము.
but body is there to
కానీ
function.
మనసు విచారణ చెయ్యాలి,
Mind should inquire,
మంచి చెడ్డలను తర్కించాలి.
mind should discriminate.
ఈ తర్కించి మంచి అని తెలిసినటువంటి దాన్ని ప్రాక్టీస్ లో పెట్టాలి.
Having decided what is good must be practiced.
కనుకనే
So,
మానవత్వంలో ఇంతటి సూక్ష్మమైనటువంటి యొక్క క్రియలన్నీ కూడా నిలిచి ఉన్నాయి.
in human life there are so many subtle secrets.
దైవత్వము కాంతిని చూపేటువంటి వాడు,
God shows light.
ప్రకాశాన్ని అందించేటువంటి వాడు.
He gives you all the brilliance.
మనస విచారణ చేసి
Mind investigates
ఆత్మాభిమానాన్ని పెంచుకునేటువంటిది.
and wants you to develop attachment
అది
to the self.
ఆత్మాభిమానం అనేటువంటిది ఈనాడు మర్చిపోయినారు.
Today we don't find attachment to the
దేహాభిమానంలోనే
spirit.
జీవితం అంతా గడుపుతున్నారు.
The life is carried today being attached to the
దేహం
body.
ఏమిటి?
What is this
ఇది
body?
పాంచభౌతికమైన దేహమే,
It is made up of the elements
కానీ ఇది
only.
అనిత్యమైనటువంటిది.
But it is temporary.
బాడీ ఇస్ లైక్ ఎ వాటర్ బబుల్,
Body is like a water
మైండ్
bubble.
ఇస్ లైక్ ఎ మ్యాడ్ మంకీ.
Mind is like a mad
డోంట్ ఫాలో
monkey.
ది మైండ్, డోంట్ ఫాలో ది బాడీ,
Don't follow the mind, don't follow the body.
ఫాలో ది కాన్షియన్స్. అదే ఆత్మను అనుసరించు.
Follow the conscience, the self.
అప్పుడే నీకు సరైన మార్గం కనిపిస్తుంది.
Then you will find the right path.
కానీ
But
కొంతవరకు మూడింటిని కూడా అనుభవించుకోవటంలో తప్పు లేదు.
there is nothing wrong in experiencing all the three: body, mind and the
ఆత్మ
self.
యొక్క కాంతి చేత,
With the light of the self,
మనసు యొక్క ప్రబోధన చేత,
with the teaching of the mind,
శరీరం చేత కర్మలు అనుభవించవచ్చు.
one can act with the body.
వీటినే ప్రాకృతమైన ధర్మములు అన్నారు.
This is what is called the physical conduct.
ఇది ధర్మములు అనేటువంటి దానికి కొన్ని రకమైనటువంటి యొక్క అర్థములు కూడా ఉంటున్నాయి.
Dharma has got subtle meanings.
ఏది హృదయ ధర్మము?
What is that
అది
related to the heart?
కాన్స్టెంట్ ఇంటిగ్రేటెడ్ అవేర్నెస్.
That dharma of the heart is constant integrated awareness.
కానీ శారీరక సంబంధమైనటువంటిది, మానసిక సంబంధమైనటువంటి ధర్మములంతా కూడా ప్రాకృతమైనటువంటి ప్రవృత్తులు.
The physical and the mental dharma are external.
ఇవన్నీ ప్రవృత్తులే,
They all represent the external
కానీ
way.
నివృత్తికి ఏమాత్రము సంబంధం లేదు.
It has no relationship with the inward journey.
కానీ ఈ యొక్క మూడింటి యొక్క చేరిక చేతనే ప్రవృత్తి నివృత్తుల యొక్క సమ్మిళితమైనటువంటి తత్వాన్ని మనం అనుభవించవచ్చు.
We can experience at the same time the combination of pravurti external and nivurti internal.
ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా,
Embodiments of love.
మొట్టమొదటి మానవునికి ఉండినటువంటి ఈ మూడు ఇంద్రియములను కూడాను సరైన మార్గంలో పెట్టుకోవాలి.
Man should proceed in the right direction with these three.
శరీరంతో కర్మలు ఆచరించాలి,
Do all activity with this
కానీ
body.
ఎట్టి కర్మలు ఆచరించాలి,
What kind of action?
ఎప్పుడు ఆచరించాలి,
When?
దేనికోసం ఆచరించాలి,
What for?
దీని యొక్క ఫలితం ఏమిటి
What is the result?
అని అన్నిటికీ అర్థం తెలుసుకొని
One has to understand all aspects.
ఎప్పుడు, ఎక్కడ, ఎచ్చట, ఏమి, ఎందుకు,
One has to answer all these
ఈ
questions:
ఐదింటి
where,
యొక్క
when,
విచారణ
why,
చేసి
how.
ఈ శరీరంలో మనం ప్రవేశించాలి.
With all the five senses we should take to action.
అప్పుడే ఇది తప్పు మార్గంలో ప్రవేశించదు.
Then it will never go along the wrong path.
కనుకనే ఈ శరీరం ఇచ్చిండేటువంటిదంతా కూడాను కేవలం శరీర ధర్మం, ప్రవృత్తి లక్షణం.
Body is gifted to undertake
శరీర
activity.
మాధ్యం ఖలు ధర్మ సాధకం.
Body is there to do all right action.
ఎట్టి ధర్మము లోక ధర్మము.
What kind of dharma?
ప్రవృత్తి అయినటువంటి ధర్మం ఆచరించే కోసం శరీరం ఇచ్చాడు.
The body is given by God to do
శరీర
right
మాధ్యం
action.
ఖలు ధర్మ సాధకం.
Body is given to do all right
కానీ
activity.
మనసు ఇచ్చినటువంటి దేనికోసం?
Why mind is given?
మనసు ఇచ్చినటువంటి నిత్యానిత్య పరిశీలన చేసే కోసమని,
Mind is there to inquire what is
మంచి
fleeting, what is
చెడ్డల పరిశీలన
permanent,
గావించే కోసమని.
and to discriminate what is good and bad.
కనుక ఈ పరిశీలన గావించి
One should
ఈ
inquire.
పరిశీలన దేని వల్ల గావించడానికి వీలవుతుంది?
And how is it possible to
ఆత్మ
inquire?
యొక్క ప్రబోధన చేతనే ఈ మనసు పరిశీలన చేస్తుంది.
The inquiry is possible basing on the light of the
మనసు
spirit.
మధ్యలో ఉంటుండాది.
The mind is in between.
ఇటువైపున ఆత్మ, ఇటువైపున శరీరము.
On one side there is the body, the other side the self.
కనుక ఈ మనస్సు అనేటువంటిది ఆత్మను అనుసరించి
The mind should follow the spirit
శరీర కర్మలు ఆచరించడం
and should undertake
ఇది
activity with the
సక్రమమైన
body.
మార్గమే.
This is the proper path.
కానీ ఇప్పుడు ఆత్మధర్మాన్ని విసర్జిస్తున్నారు.
Today one has given up the nature of the
శరీరమే
self
ఫ్రెండ్ గా చేసుకుని శరీర ధర్మమే ప్రవృత్తిగా భావిస్తున్నారు.
and they go by the body in the external path.
కనుకనే శరీర మనసులు రెండు చేరిపోవటం చేతనే రాక్షసుడిగా రూపొందుతున్నాడు.
As there is a combination of the body and the mind, man has become a demon.
ఈనాడు లోకము లోపల జరిగేటువంటివన్నీ కూడాను ఈ రాక్షస కర్మలే జరుగుతున్నాయి.
Today we find in this world all devilish demonic activity.
విచారణ శక్తి ఏమాత్రము లేదు.
There is no discrimination at all.
జ్ఞానం అనేటువంటిది ఎప్పుడు మనకు లభిస్తుంది?
How do you hope to acquire wisdom?
ఆత్మాభిమానం సంభవించినప్పుడే జ్ఞానం మనకు లభ్యమవుతుంది.
When you are attached to the self, it is possible to be wise.
జ్ఞానం,
that is non-dualism is jnana.
కేవలం ఆత్మను మాత్రమే అనుసరించాలి.
And that is only the knowledge of the
శరీర
self.
మనసులు ఏమాత్రం కూడా నువ్వు టచ్ చేయకూడదు.
And you should not never go by the body and the mind.
ఈ ప్రాకృతమైనటువంటి ధర్మం లోపల
In the worldly
శరీర
context,
మనసు ఆత్మల మూడింటి యొక్క ఏకత్వం చేతనే మనం కర్మలు అనుసరించాలి.
in fact, we can carry on life sojourn by combining all these three: body, mind and the self.
కనుకనే కర్మణ్యేవ అధికారస్య అని భగవద్గీత చెప్పింది.
Bhagavad Gita
నీవు
says,
కర్మాధికారిగా నీవు కావాలి.
you have got the right on action.
ఎట్టి కర్మలు
What sort of action?
ప్రవృత్తివి కాదు,
Not external.
నివృత్తి కర్మలు ఆచరించాలి.
All that are inward.
ప్రవృత్తివి కూడాను ఆత్మాభిమానంతో అనుసరించాలి.
Therefore, even external activity can be
నీ
done by
కొన్ని
attaching
డ్యూటీస్
to the
నీకు
self.
ఉన్నాయి, నీ కొన్ని కర్తవ్యాలు ఉంటున్నాయి.
You have certain
ఈ
responsibilities.
కర్తవ్యాలు నీవు అనుసరించాలంటే అప్పుడు కేవలం ఆత్మాభిమానంతో పోతే ప్రయోజనం లేదు.
As you discharge your responsibilities, it is not enough if you are simply
శరీర
attached to
ధర్మమును,
self.
మానసిక ధర్మమును ఆత్మ యొక్క హెల్ప్ చేత మనం ఆచరించాలి.
The physical activity and the mental activity could be taken by
నీవు
attaching to the
నిజంగా
spirit.
శరీర ధర్మంనే నీవు ఆచరిస్తూ సక్రమంగా నీవు నడుస్తుంటే మనసు కూడా ప్రసన్నమైపోతుంది.
Therefore, if and once you do the right activity, mind will enjoy
మనసు కూడా
peace.
ప్రసన్నమైనప్పుడు ఆత్మ సాక్షాత్కరిస్తుంది.
When once the mind is at rest in peace, one can visualize
ఈ
the
మూడు
self.
కూడా ఒకే శరీరం నందే మనం సంచరిస్తున్నాయి.
All the three are present in one and the same man.
వేరు వేరు మార్గంలో లేదు.
They are not diversified.
ఈనాడు మానవుడు ఆచరించవలసినటువంటిది
What man has to do
ఏ
today,
శరీర ధర్మములు మనం చేసినప్పటికీ ఇది మంచియా చెడ్డనా,
whatever action might be done, whether
నా
it's good or
కుటుంబ
bad,
నిలబెడుతుందా నిలబెడుతుందా లేదా,
whether it upholds the
నా
prestige of the family,
మానవత్వాన్ని గౌరవిస్తుందా లేదా,
well, it will represent the
నన్ను
manhood, human
మానవుని ఈ
quality.
సమాజంలో పిలుస్తారా లేదా.
Will people call me a human being or
కనుక
not?
సమాజం కూడా ఒకవైపు ఉంటుండాలి.
There is society on one
వ్యక్తి
hand.
పరిణామము, సమాజ పరిణామము, ఆత్మ పరిణామము, మూడింటి యొక్క తత్వమును మనం విచారించాలి.
Therefore, we have to investigate the individual change, the societal change and the transformation of the spiritual.
కనుకనే మొట్టమొదట మనము ఇండివిజువల్ చేంజ్.
So, we should think of individual change to begin with.
ఇందులో వచ్చేటువంటి యొక్క దుర్గుణాలు, దురాచారములు అన్నిటినీ మనం చక్కగా విచారణ చేయాలి.
We have to find out all the bad qualities, bad temperaments and
వీటిని
sentiments.
దూరం చేయాలి.
We have to give up them totally.
అప్పుడే దీనికి కొన్ని విధమైనటువంటి మార్గములు కూడా ఉంటున్నాయి.
There are certain prescriptive ways.
అసత్యమాడటం,
Falsehood,
అధర్మములో ప్రవేశించటం,
unrighteousness,
దొంగతనములు చేయటము,
stealing.
ఈ విధమైనటువంటి దీంట్లో ఈ యొక్క శరీరము అనేక రకములుగా ప్రవర్తిస్తుంది.
By resorting to these paths, the body gets into
ఇంతే కాదు,
unsacred way.
మరొక జీవిని కూడా బాధిస్తుంది.
And the body sometimes even hurts others.
ఈ శరీర సంబంధమైనటువంటి యొక్క ప్రవృత్తి ఇట్టి కర్మలు ఆచరిస్తూ ఉంటాది.
And this is the external path of the body.
కనుకనే దీనిని మనము పూర్తి మార్పు గావించుకోవాలి.
We have to bring a transformation at the physical
సమాజ
level.
ధర్మం మనం పాటించాలి.
And we have to observe the social
సమాజంలో
norms.
ఏమిటి ఇది?
What is society?
త్రాగటము, తినటము, ప్రవర్తించటము, సంసార సంబంధమైనటువంటి దీంట్లో అమితమైనటువంటి వాంఛలు పెంచుకోవటము, ఇలాంటిదంతా కూడాను కేవలము ప్రాపంచిక సంబంధమైన ప్రవృత్తులు.
The eating, drinking, food, raiment, shelter, limitless desire is
ఇంతే
just
కాదు,
worldly.
జూదం కూడాను ఈ యొక్క మానసిక ప్రవృత్తి యొక్క లక్షణమే.
Gambling is also an external trait.
కనుక దీని వల్లనే ఈ మనస్సు ఒక విధమైనటువంటి అపమార్గం పడుతుంటాది.
That leads to mental pollution.
ఇండివిజువల్ చేంజ్ కలిగిన తర్వాత
After individual change,
సామాజిక చేంజ్ అనేటువంటిది మనం సంపూర్ణంగా నెరవేర్చుకోవచ్చు.
and then you can follow the social norm well.
సామాజిక సంబంధమైనటువంటి చేంజ్ కలిగిన తర్వాత ఆధ్యాత్మిక పరివర్తన చక్కగా జరిగిపోతుంది.
When there is a change, social change, there will be spiritual transformation.
ఇండివిజువల్ అనేటువంటిది కేవలం ఒక ప్రధానమైనటువంటిదిగా ఉంటున్నది.
Individual journey commences all alone.
సామాజికమైనటువంటిది కేవలం కొంత పవిత్రమైనటువంటిగా ఉంటుంటుంది.
Social change is sacred.
ఆధ్యాత్మికమైనటువంటిది పూర్తి పవిత్రంగా ఉంటుంటుంది.
The spiritual transformation is totally sacred.
కనుకనే దీనినే SAI అన్నారు.
This is said in this word SAI.
ఎస్ అనేటువంటిది ఏమిటి?
What is yes?
అది స్పిరిచువల్ పరివర్తన.
That is spiritual transformation.
సామాజిక పరివర్తన అనేటువంటిది ఏ అంటే ఏమిటిది?
What is A?
అసోసియేషన్ పరివర్తన.
A change in
అది
association.
సామాజిక పరివర్తన.
This is societal change.
ఐ అనేటువంటిది ఇండివిజువల్ పరివర్తన.
I is individual change.
కాబట్టి ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఒక సాయిలోనే విలీనమై ఉంటున్నాయి.
All these three are there only in Sai.
ఇంతే కాదు,
Not only this,
ఇంకా అనేక రకమైనటువంటి మార్గంలో ప్రవర్తిస్తున్నారు.
there are many things happening.
మన విద్యార్థులు ఆ విధమైనటువంటి దీంట్లో బ్యాడ్ లీడర్ ఎప్పుడూ చేయకూడదు.
Our students should never proceed along the wrong
తల్లిదండ్రులను
path.
సంతోష పెట్టండి,
Make your parents happy
తల్లిదండ్రులకు ప్రసన్నులు చేయండి.
and please your parents.
నీకేదైనా ఇష్టం లేకపోతే వాళ్ళని తగిన రీతి లోపల వాళ్ళకు మాటలు చెప్పి వాళ్ళని సంతృప్తి పరచండి.
If they don't agree with you, explain them sweetly,
అంతేకాని
softly.
విరుద్ధమైన మార్గంలో మీరు ఎప్పుడు ప్రవేశించకండి.
Never act against their interests.
ఈ రామచరిత్రను ఈనాటి కూడాను గొప్ప చరిత్రగా ప్రవర్తిస్తున్నారు.
The story and the glory of Rama is so mighty and noble.
అలాంటి సత్యశీలుడు కావాలి.
So one should be one of truth.
అలాంటి పవిత్రమైనటువంటి హృదయం కలిగిన వాడు కావాలి.
And one should have such deserving sacred
కానీ
heart.
దేని యందు లేకపోయినప్పటికీ
It may be there, not be there in other
వివాహ
areas.
విషయం నందు మాత్రము ఏ మాత్రం కూడా మనసు చేయకూడదు.
And see that your mind will never waver.
లాంగ్ లైఫ్.
You have got a long life ahead.
ఈనాడు అట్ట కాదు, ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టుగా పెళ్లి చేసుకుంటున్నారు, మరి మూడవ దినం విడాకులకు బయలుదేరుతున్నారు.
Today what is happening? They get married as per their preference and
కారణం
choice,
ఏమిటి?
and that leads to divorce.
యోచన చేయకుండా చేయటం వల్ల, ఈ పెద్దల యొక్క ఆశీర్వాదం లేకుండా, పెద్దల యొక్క అనుగ్రహం లేకుండా సంతోషంగా ఇది చేయటం వల్లనే ఈ విధమైన పరిస్థితికి వస్తున్నారు.
The reason is that they have not sought the permission, the blessing of their
నా
elders.
ఇష్టము, నా ఇష్టం అంటారు.
They said it's my wish.
నీ ఇష్టము, ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టుగా నీవు సంచరించటమేనా?
You cannot act as per your
నీ
wish.
ఇష్టం ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది?
Wherefore you got this
నీ
wish?
కాన్షియస్ అనేటువంటి ఆత్మ నుంచి రావాలి.
It should come out of your
కేవలం
self.
పిచ్చి దృష్టి నుంచి కూడా వచ్చింది.
It's out of your bad looks, bad temperament.
కనుక నీ బ్యాడ్ లుక్, బ్యాడ్ థాట్స్ వల్ల నీకు వచ్చింది.
Your wish is based on the bad
నీ
looks and
మాటలు,
bad thoughts.
నీ మాటలు ఏం మంచి సత్యమైనటువంటివా?
Are your words
కాదు కాదు,
are truth?
అసత్య సంబంధమైనటువంటి మాటలు,
They are utterly false.
దుర్గుణమైనటువంటి చూపులు,
All bad looks,
దురాచారమైనటువంటి చర్యలు,
all bad
దీని వల్ల
practices.
నీకు ఈ దుర్గుణాలు బయలుదేరుతున్నాయి.
And that's the cause for all bad qualities.
కానీ అలాంటి దుర్గుణాలకు విద్యార్థులు ఏమాత్రం అవకాశం ఇవ్వకూడదు.
Students should never entertain bad qualities or
నీకు
evil
ఇష్టం
tendencies.
లేకపోయినప్పుడే తల్లిదండ్రులకు తగినటువంటి రీతిగా చెప్పి వారిని సంతృప్తి పరచండి.
You should explain clearly to your parents and please
వారిని
them.
ప్రసన్నులు గావించండి.
Make them happy.
తల్లిదండ్రులు ప్రసన్నులు కాకుండా నీవు ఏమి చేసినా కానీ అది నీకు ఫలించదు.
Without your permission, blessing, whatever you do, you will never be successful.
కనుక నీ దుర్గుణాలు మనం ఈనాడు త్యాగం చేయాలంటే ఈ విధమైనటువంటి త్యాగం చేయాలి.
This is the true sacrifice today.
హరే రామ హరే రామ 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 హరే హరే. హరే కృష్ణ హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే హరే.
హరే కృష్ణ హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే హరే.
సత్సంగతే నిస్సంగత్వం నిస్సంగత్వే నిర్మోహత్వం.
సత్సంగతే నిస్సంగత్వం నిస్సంగతే నిర్మోహత్వం.
నిర్మోహత్వే నిశ్చలతత్వం నిశ్చలతత్వే జీవన్ముక్తి.
నిశ్చలతత్వం నిశ్చలతత్వే జీవన్ముక్తి.
హరే రామ హరే రామ 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 హరే హరే.
హరే రామ హరే రామ 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 హరే హరే.
హరే కృష్ణ హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే హరే.
హరే కృష్ణ హరే
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare.
वेदानुद्धरते जगन्ही वहते भूगोल मुद्बिभ्रते दैत्यं धारयते छलयते क्षत्रक्षयं कुर्वते पौलस्त्यं जयते हलं कलयते भगवान् मूर्छयते
Different forms at different times. Sometimes a flash, sometimes a lifetime. Sometimes a king, sometimes a kingmaker. Sometimes tender, sometimes a fearsome beast. God Almighty, beyond the shackles of time, space and reason, He manifests in a form for you and me to feel, see and wonder. Wonder? Wonder? I wonder. I wonder why God comes in a form at all. Why should He manifest as an avatar?
The next is a buzzer question. Press the buzzer if you're confident to answer. And the question is, why does God manifest as an avatar? I repeat, why does God manifest as an avatar?
In the Gita, Krishna has declared,
Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham.
so God comes to establish dharma whenever there is a decline.
And that is a good answer, but tell me this. Lord Rama manifested in the Treta Yuga, but after his avatar came the Dwapara. Krishna came in the Dwapara Yuga and Kali age followed his avatarhood. And it is said, Dharma walked on 3 feet in Treta, 2 feet in Dwapara, and just 1 holds it up in Kali. Every time an avatar manifested, didn't Dharma really decline? So I'm afraid, friend, that your answer is wrong.
Well, in the same Gita, Krishna says,
Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge sambhavami yuge yuge.
so He comes for protecting the good and punishing the bad.
Seems like a solid answer. Let me see. It is said in the Manusmriti, Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Those that uphold and protect goodness and righteousness will be protected by that goodness and righteousness itself. So you don't need God to manifest as a protector, isn't it? Sorry, sir, your answer is not convincing or comprehensive too.
Bhagwan himself explains the meaning behind an avatar in a beautiful padyam.
అవతరించుటయనుటలో అర్థమేమి అవతరించుటయనుటలో అర్థమేమి నరులపై ప్రీతి వాత్సల్య పరతతోడ వారి స్థాయికి దైవంబు వచ్చు భువికి జీవ ప్రజ్ఞతో బాటుగా
So God comes out of His motherly love for His children to allow them to love Him. relate to him, and make him a part of their life.
That is it. Yes. That seems like the most perfect answer. Omnipotence is a shining hue of His divine aura we adore. Can you think of something God cannot do?
No, He is all powerful. There is nothing beyond Him. Then what is it that He can achieve better when in our midst than He can when in His heavenly high altar? It is indeed the sweet Prema Bandham, the bond of sweet love.
Dharma Sthapana is indeed an avatar's mission supreme. But what dharma is it? Is the detail we miss. Prema Dharma it is. Look, how many lovers of the divine were born after every advent? Centuries later too, the thoughts of His name, His exploits, pranks, message, compassion has inspired devotion of supreme sublimity. To make us lovers of God is the purpose of an avatar.
వచ్చాడయ్యా వచ్చాడు దేవదేవుడు మనతోడ తిరిగేడు కాలానుగుణంగా ప్రేమ ధర్మాన్ని నిలుపగా దివి నుండి భువికి దిగి వచ్చాడు వచ్చాడయ్యా వచ్చాడు పరమాత్ముడు భువిపైకి వచ్చాడు వచ్చాడయ్యా వచ్చాడు పరమాత్ముడు భువిపైకి వచ్చాడు ఆ రామచంద్రుడై ఆనంద బాలుడై సత్యస్వరూపుడై వచ్చాడు ఆ రామచంద్రుడే ఆనంద బాలుడై ప్రేమ స్వరూపుడై వచ్చాడు జీవకోటి గుండె గుడిలోన తత్వదర్శనం అందించగా ప్రేమ దివ్వెను వెలిగించగా వచ్చాడయ్యా
రాముడై వచ్చాడు త్రేతలోనా ఆదర్శమందించగ ప్రతిమదిలోనా యుగములు మారి కలియుగమే తెంచినా దేవుడై నిలిచాడు ప్రతి గ్రామానా భక్తుడైన త్యాగయ్య దాకా రామనామ రుచి అనుభవించినారు భక్తి సాగరమున ప్రజలు లలాడినారు ద్వాపరన కన్నయ్యగా వచ్చాడు గోపికల మనసులను దోచాడు గీతాసారము జనులకు అందించాడు జీవులనే గోవులను పాలించాడు ప్రతి నిమిషం పరమాత్మగా నిలిచాడు ఆత్మ బంధువై కాచాడు. హరే కృష్ణ హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే 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 రామ హరే రామ 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 హరే 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 కృష్ణ 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 హరే 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 రామ 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 హరే హరే.
క్లిష్టమైన కలియుగాన సత్యమనే నామంతో మారుమూల పల్లెలోన అవతార పురుషుడై వచ్చాడు. హృదయ భూములు సాగు చేసి దైవ ప్రీతి మొలకెత్తగా ఇంచి ఇంచిన సాయినామమే ప్రపంచమంతా మారుమ్రోగగా. ఇంచి ఇంచిన సాయినామమే ప్రపంచమంతా మారుమ్రోగగా. సత్యరూపుడై వచ్చాడు, ప్రేమ రూపుడై వచ్చాడు, సత్యరూపుడై వచ్చాడు, ప్రేమ రూపుడై వచ్చాడు.
సాయిరాం 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 సాయిరాం
సాయిరాం సాయి కృష్ణ
On this glorious day, the day 75 years ago, Bhagwan revealed to us the truth of his avatarhood. We have understood the purpose of his advent. It is for us he has made us devotees, hasn't he?
So we are devotees of the Lord.
Humble expressions of the avatar's success.
How grateful we are, Swami, to be your proud achievements.
Ages to come, people will think of us and say, they were true lovers of God. He came to be with them after all. Let's strive to be like them and fulfill our lives like they did.
Oh, we are the devotees of the Lord.
Humble devotees of the Lord.
వెతుకుచున్నాను నేను వెతుకుచునేయున్నాను, వెతుకుచున్నాను నేను వెతుకుచునేయున్నాను, వెతుకుచుంటి నాటి నేటి వెతుకుచుంటి నాడు నేడు నిజ మానవ ధర్మపరుని. వెతుకుచున్నాను నేను వెతుకుచునేయున్నాను, వెతుకుచుంటి నాడు నేను నిజ మానవ ధర్మపరుని. కొదువలేదు నరులకు కొదువలేదు నరులకు నన్నూరు కోట్లు ఉన్నారు, కొదువు లేదు నరులకు నన్నూరు కోట్లు ఉన్నారు. నరుని రూపముల చూచితి నిజ రూపములను గాంచల, నరుల రూపమున చూచితి నిజ రూపము గాంచనైతి వెతుకుచునే ఉన్నాను, నే వెతుకుచున్నాను నేను వెతుకుచునే ఉన్నాను. పూరగ కాయలు చూచి మామిడి అని భ్రమిసినట్లు, పూరగ కాయలు చూచి మామిడి అని భ్రమిసినట్లు, వెర్రి చెరకు రూపు చూచి చెరకని తానమిలినట్లు, స్ఫటిక రాయి రూపు చూచి కలకండని నమిలినట్లు,
స్ఫటికరాయి రూపు చూచి కలకండని నమిలినట్ రూపు చూచి మోసపోకు గుణమే నిజ నరుని రూపం. వెతుకుచునేయున్నాను నే వెతుకుచున్నాను నేను వెతుకుచు నీయున్నాను. వెతుకుచుంటి నాడు నేడు నిజ రూపము మానవుని వెతుకుచున్నా.
90 years of his advent, 75 years since he declared. Swami still says, I search. Millions came, millions still come. But Swami says, I'm searching and searching. Are we not devotees then? But what does Swami seek in a devotee? Friends, let us pledge to serve the Lord and assist him in his quest.
Swami, we hereby vow, we will go forth in all directions the sun's rays kiss. We will search every land, race and echelon. We, your crusaders, will bring before you the true devotee, in search of whom your quest seems to have meandered into weary disappointment. We promise.
Where do we look for that devotee who will be the warmth of our Lord's heart? Should we look for him in this sacred land of Bharat? Or look for her in the cradle of Western cultures? Will there be a halo around the head? Or will the feet walk without touching the ground?
I know where to look for the true devotee. Must be the one who sings his praises every day, or chants Vedas dawn and dusk, come what may. He must be a bhajan singer in Prasanthi, or one who chants Vedam here, in a center or in a samiti. Look for one who in Nagar Sankirtan is always present, or in doing Abhishekam and Archana is resolutely incessant. The true devotee must be one who in his worship spends most of the day.
Pardon, brothers, my intruding. I heard you speak of your noble quest and of the obvious direction. A question I have, an answer I seek. Hope you ponder sans predilection. In the Ramayana, whom do you adore? The hordes of the fidgety monkey army? Or Ravana, the mighty, sinful and wily? Do remember, Ravana was a great worshipper, the three-eyed Lord. With penance so hard and focused, he pleased. He chanted Namah Shivaya more times than all Vanaras chanted Ramanam in all their lifetimes piled. Would you say he was the greatest devotee, or point to him as the epitome of piety?
A point you have there, holy sir. Mere chanting, worship and penance can scarce make a devotee prime.
Yes. Have you read Ramakatharas Vahini? The nectarous stream of the Rama glory from Bhagwan's own pen. He himself explains the purpose of the conspicuous end to Ravana, the precept it was meant to be. Swami says, we have to hold forth Ravana as a warning to mankind that however many divine rites and acts one may do, if one does not give up one's demonic passions and impulses, they add up to only one result, rendering them unholy and sterile. So my friends, in your search for the true lion, go not by what you hear and see. For after all, in the hide of a lion, a sheep, fox or a jackal it could be. Take for instance the monkey, so famed for its frolicking fickleness. Imagine an army of such restlessness. But in devotion, they were marshalled. Their minds in love for him were focused. The leader of their horde we worship as epitome of Dasya Bhakti. True devotion chases the darkness from heart's every nook and cranny, leaving no hiding place for the rodents of passion and insects of immorality. With love for God, even the monkey mind shall become the master's mind.
जय बोलो सियावर रामचंद्र की
राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीताराम, राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीताराम, राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीताराम, राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीताराम,
राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीताराम, राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीताराम, राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीताराम,
राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीताराम, राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीताराम, राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीताराम। Shri Ram, Ram Ram Jai Jai 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 Shri Ram.
Great indeed are those that get to serve and live for Him. No wonder their love is so true, for they yearn the reward of being with Him. Let us search for that true devotee amongst those that spent years with Him. In His proximity, those that prospered, in His sannidhi, who reveled. Closeness is a sure sign of devotion.
Haven't you heard Bhagwan say, the frogs that live in the same water as the lotus live out their lives without tasting the nectar? Could just being around him be a mark of devotion? But let me not deride your conclusions. They are so obvious, they are irresistible. The great Arjuna, close as a friend to Lord Krishna too, asked him once the question whose answer you clamor for. And maybe Krishna's answer can light and guide your quest.
Vasudeva, you attract all those who come to you. Your name says it all. Krishyati iti Krishnaha. The one who attracts is Krishna. One glance at your sweet countenance and they are ready to open the altar of their hearts for you. But Vasudeva, tell me today, which devotee has a special place in your heart? There are so many who have got the blessing of your proximity. Who among them is the dearest to you?
Partha, there are three types of devotees. 1.
is like this pebble that lies in the riverbed for years and years. Break it open and you will find dryness inside. Water around has remained only around and never seeped inside. The second type is like this cloth. When dipped in the river, it soaks up the water. It holds tightly the moisture in its fabric grip. But alas, remove from water and put it in the sun, it returns to its native state of dryness in no time. Its nature changes when removed from the presence of water. The third and the best is like the sugar candy. Throw it into the water. First, the surface is wet. Then, it draws the water within and slowly melts away, ceasing to be itself, giving up a distinct existence. When such a devotee enters my heart, I feel fulfilled.
That, my friends, is devotion supreme. Nearness is not dearness, and nearness is not always depth. Don't you know what stood them apart? The Yadavas and the Gopikas, both who had divine nearness. Krishna belongs to us, declared with pride the Yadavas. We belong to Krishna, humbly submitted the Gopikas. And in this claim of belonging lay their devotion's luster. For he, his music and his call became their all. That love purified them. They elevated themselves to levels higher than any tapasvi or jnani. A true devotee is one for whom Lord and Lord's will overrule all else in life.
నల్లని మ్రోవిన పిల్లన గ్రోవితో అల్లన మెల్లన రావేలా
నల్లని మ్రోవిన పిల్లన గ్రోవితో అల్లన మెల్లన రావేలా గోపాల రావేలా
గోపాల రావేలా నల్లని మ్రోవిన పిల్లన గ్రోవితో అల్లన మెల్లన రావేలా
గోవిందా నీవు గోచరమవకుంటే గోవులు గరికైన కొరకవంట
కన్నయ్యా నిన్ను కానకపోతే గోపెంబల కన్నులు కూతవంట
ఓ మాధవాని ఆరాధనే తన ఆధారమై రాధావే చేసి ఓ మాధవాని ఆరాధనే తన ఆధారమై రాధావే చెలియా
గోపాల గోపాల రావేలా నల్లని మ్రోవిన పిల్లన గ్రోవితో అల్లన మెల్లన రావేలా
ఆనాడే వేణువుని ఉదయించితే నీ పెదవి మధులు గ్రోలకు ఆనాడే వేణువునై ఉదయించితే నీ పెదవి మధువులు గ్రోలకున్నే
ఆనాడి గోపికనే జనించితే నీ చెలిమి భాగ్యము నోమకున్నే అలనాటి లీలలు మరల చూడాలని
ఆబాల గోపాలం బేచేనయ్యా
గోపాల
గోపాల రావేలా అల్లని మ్రోవిన పిల్లన గ్రోవితో అల్లన మెల్లన రావేలా అల్లని మ్రోవిన పిల్లన గ్రోవితో అల్లన మెల్లన రావేలా గోపాల
గోపాల గోవింద రాధారమణ హరి గోవింద 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 గోపాల గోవింద రాధారమణ హరి గోవింద 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 గోపాల గోవింద రాధారమణ హరి గోవింద 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 గోపాల గోవింద 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 గోపాల గోవింద 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 గోపాల గోవింద కృష్ణ
In our understanding, a fair distance we traversed. Why he incarnates and what is devotion we have discerned. But sir, two questions remain begging for answers. Where is the true devotee? And beg, tell who you are.
The one you seek is whose heart is adorned by me. I am the gift that attracts the Lord to that devotee. Friends, I am devotion itself. Don't you recognize me?
Devotion? Indeed, you are devotion. Devotion, the lamp the avatar lights. Devotion, the conflagration to burn ego, pride and the likes. How did we fail to recognize you?
Failing to recognize me today is no blunder immense. But failing to recognize me within is an unpardonable offense. Do not search for the devotee around. Turn within your searchlight at once. For Swami searches for the true devotee, not amongst you, but he searches in each one of you. Discover that perfect lover, well concealed by your own selfishness. Present that devotee at his altar as your true treasure unearthed. That will fulfill the advent of the avatar in your life. Hark, my dear comrades, like all journeys to be true, this one has to turn within too.
Dearest Bhagwan, in this moment joyous and gay, when we celebrate 75 years of the Avatar Declaration Day, we promise, Lord, we will not let fade the lamp of love you lit in our hearts.
We will feed it with selflessness and protect it with righteousness.
Your word and message, we will appoint the commander-in-chief of our deeds, words and thoughts.
We will search and discover that devotee from within.
The search will not find its fulfillment without thy grace and will. Swami, we pray for your grace. We pray for your strength. We pray for your pure and unsullied love.
మధురమా అమృతమా దరి చేర్చు నేస్తమా హృదయమా భావమా దీవించు ఓ దైవమా మధురాన్వితం నీతో మా జీవనం మధురమా అమృతమా దరి చేర్చు ఓ నేస్తమా త్యాగయ్య సంగీతమై చైతన్యానందమై మధురాన వేణువై ప్రతిశ్వాసనే గానమై ప్రతి తలపుయే నీ భాషయై నీ భావమై ప్రతి తలపుయే నీ భాషయై నీ భావమై తల్లివై తండ్రివై నీవే మా సర్వస్వము సరి మా పని సరి ని సాని పమడి సరి మా పని సరి ని సాని పమడి సరి మా పని సరి ని రి పమడి సా సాని సపా మబడి పమడి మరి ని రి సా బాష్పమే మాహ్యమై అంజలే వేదార్చనై కపనయే ఆహ్వానమై హృదయమే ఆస్థానమై అనునిత్యము మా స్వామిని ప్రార్థించని ప్రేమించని భక్తి భావ ప్రియా తండ్రివై నీవే మా సర్వస్వమై మధురమా అమృతమా దరి చేర్చు ఓ నేస్తమా హృదయమా భావమా దీవించు ఓ దైవమా మధురాన్వితం నీతో మా జీవనం మధురమా అమృతమా దరి చేర్చు నేస్తమా మధురమా అమృతమా దరి చేర్చు నేస్తమా మధురమా అమృతమా भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तिमहेश्वरा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धवा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मातपिता गुरुदैवमु मरियन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्राश्रयना ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप
హారతి అందుకో మంగళ హారతి అందుకో మందరగిరిధారి ఓం జయ జగదీశ హరే నారాయణ నారాయణ సత్యనారాయణ నారాయణ 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 సత్యనారాయణ నారాయణ సత్యనారాయణ నారాయణ ఓం జయ సద్గురుదేవా నారాయణ నారాయణ సత్యనారాయణ నారాయణ 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 సత్యనారాయణ నారాయణ సత్యనారాయణ నారాయణ ఓం జయ సద్గురుదేవా నారాయణ నారాయణ సత్యనారాయణ నారాయణ 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 సత్యనారాయణ నారాయణ ఓం సత్యనారాయణ నారాయణ जय सद्गुरुदेवा ओम शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति शांति शांति
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।